Do you want to know the question that's on the minds of so many tarot beginners? It is this: do I have to be psychic to read tarot? Well, I've got great news for you because the short answer is no. And in this video, I'm going to explain why you don't need to be specially gifted with super psychic powers to read tarot. Plus, I'm going to show you how anyone, including you, can access the intuition using tarot cards, even if you don't have a psychic bone in your body. So with that said, let's get started. Now, when I first discovered the tarot cards, I was worried that I was not psychic enough to use them. I didn't come from a lineage of psychic grandmas, and I had no idea how to speak to dead people or even see clearly into the future to predict exactly when and how events would occur. And this was everything that I thought was a requirement if you were ever going to call yourself a true psychic. But the truth is, once I actually started to learn to read the tarot cards, I realized two things. So number one, I didn't need to be psychic to read tarot. In fact, the tarot could actually help me become more psychic. Now, number two, being psychic and intuitive wasn't this mysterious and exclusive gift only for a few people that they had access to. It was actually something that anyone could tap into, so long as they knew how. And I cannot tell you how liberating this was for me. So let me unpack this a little bit further for you. So we often paint this picture of a psychic as someone who can see into the future with crystal clarity, and they can tell you everything that's about to happen to you. And while this can be true, it doesn't always have to be that way. So Wikipedia defines a psychic as a person who uses extrasensory perception to identify information hidden from the normal senses. Now, this can come to you in many different forms. So, for example, you might be someone who's clairvoyant, and this is probably the most commonly known psychic ability. And that's where you can actually see intuitive information. Now, you might also be clairaudient, which is where you hear intuitive information. Or there's clairsentient, where you can feel intuitive information. Now, this information may come through very strong and clear, as is the case for people with highly developed psychic abilities, or it might actually be more like a gentle whisper or a soft nudge from the universe that really gives you a feeling about something that you can't explain, which I tend to associate more with intuitive abilities rather than psychic abilities. Now, here is the great news. This access to psychic and intuitive information is available to all of us, including you. Now, it just depends how much you choose to tune into it and also trust it. So it's a little bit like a radio frequency. You know, this ability to tune into the right frequency and hear the music on the radio. It's there and it's available to all of us, but you've got to learn how to tune in. So some people are more dialed in naturally, but others may need to develop this ability to hear a clearer signal or a message. And this is really where the tarot cards come in. Because here's the really cool thing about tarot. You do not need to have finely tuned psychic and intuitive abilities to read tarot. In fact, you can start reading tarot without any connection to your intuition at all. But here's the super cool thing. As you read tarot more and more, you'll start to activate and develop your intuition more and more. And it happened to me when I first started. So every time I consulted the tarot cards, my intuition kicked into gear more and more. And it was as if I was activating something that was within me all along. And so the way that it all happened is that the more I read tarot, the more intuitive I became. It truly is a beautiful thing. You see, it's just like working a muscle. So the more that you practice with the tarot cards, the more that you learn to listen to your intuition. And more importantly, the more that you get to trust your intuition. And then over time, you actually become more intuitive and more psychic. So if you are worried that you're not psychic enough to read tarot, know that it can actually work the other way to your benefit. By reading the tarot, you can develop your psychic and intuitive abilities more and more, you see? And that's why I really encourage you to just get started with tarot. Even if you don't feel like you've got an intuitive bone in your body, just get started. Because as soon as you start working with the tarot, you're going to discover that you actually can access your intuition, and the cards will help you develop this skill. And it really is a skill that you can develop over time. And trust me, I have seen it happen time and time again with our students, and it also happened to me too. So just like I shared at the start, I didn't believe that I was psychic enough to read tarot, but then over the 25 plus years of reading the cards, I learned how to fully trust my intuition and let it guide me in creating the life that I truly desire. So here's how to get started and how to start opening up to your intuition. So 1, start by activating your intuition. Now, this can be as simple as saying out loud, I am a channel for my intuition to flow. I trust my intuition and I surrender to its guidance. Now, you can say this at least 5 times a day, or until you feel that power of the words that you're expressing. All right, number 2 for developing your intuition is to meditate. Now, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes a day, it's that quietening the mind and creating this peace from within that's going to really help you clear away any mental clutter and really tune into the deep wisdom that lies within. And you might also receive some intuitive downloads while you're meditating, but you might also not do that. And this is perfectly okay. It's simply about building the skill of being able to tune in and actually hear your intuition. So number 3, start reading tarot. Seriously, just go and pull a card every day and tune into the messages that it has for you. It doesn't matter if you're a complete beginner or you've been reading for a while. All you need to do is just start to build this muscle and create the connection with the cards, because your intuition will follow. All right, my friend, you have got this. I know you do. And ultimately, whether or not you consider yourself to be psychic, you can still become a skilled tarot reader, because with practice, patience, and a willingness to really open up to your intuition, you can unlock the power of the tarot and use it to offer guidance, clarity, and inspiration to yourself and others. So if you're feeling called to explore the world of tarot, don't let the idea of needing to be psychic hold you back, because the more that you practice, the more intuitive you're going to become. And if you want to learn more about how to read tarot in a more intuitive, modern, and approachable way, just know that there is so much more to explore here at Biddy Tarot, because we've literally helped millions of people around the world to develop their intuitive tarot skills. And of course, we would love to help you do the same. So take the next step in your tarot journey by clicking below. Hey, if you loved this video, then make sure you check out this next video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.